Next up here on the Fantasy Flex is a segment we call Elite Entries, where Sean and I dive into the Prize Picks app and compare our player projections to the props to build some entries. Sean, what's your first Prize Picks Elite Entry best bet for week number 8?
So I'm going with Jalen Hurts over 42.5 rushing yards. They face the Lions this week, which is a great matchup. But, Hurts always has a very high floor when it comes to his rushing prop. He's gone over this in 5 of 7 games this year. And I'm projecting closer to 50. So I think this is one of those times where the number's too low. And I would take this probably up to about 46.5.
For my first one, I'm going with Chris Godwin under a half a receiving touchdown. He's been under this in 13 of 22 dating back to last season, including the postseason. He's been under it in 4 out of 7 this year. And we have Gronk back expected for the Bucks. Sean, who's your second Prize Picks Elite Entry best bet for week 8?
So my second best bet is Cordarrelle Patterson to go over 34.5 receiving yards. Now, last week I took the under 41.5 receiving yards. He only caught 2 passes for 1 yard, but he did set a season high in routes run last week at 67%. So I think if we could see that sort of usage going forward, I mean, he's going to crush this prop. So I'm projecting this closer to 41.5, 42. And I think he clears this number this week.
For my second Prize Picks Elite Entry best bet for week 8, I'm going Leonard Fournette under 55.5 rushing yards. The Saints are allowing 2.8 yards per carry to opposing backs, and they're allowing 55.5 rushing yards to opposing backs total. So unless Fournette gets 100% of the carries, which he hasn't, he's come, into the 80s in the highest, but never 100%. He's a good bet to go under this in a pass-heavy game script for Tampa. So like the under for Fournette. 55.5. That's going to do it for our Prize Picks Elite Entry for week 8. As a recap, Sean going Jalen Hurts over 42.5 rushing yards against the Lions, and Cordarrelle Patterson over 34.5 receiving yards against the Panthers. I'm going Chris Godwin under a half a receiving touchdown against the Saints, and Leonard Fournette under 55.5 rushing yards against the Saints.